Hello Year 7s, my name is Miss Roberts and I'm your trombone teacher for the year. The trombone is a fantastic musical instrument. It does have some challenges, but I think you're going to have a lot of fun learning to play it. Today we have 3 really simple aims. The first is to learn how to put it together. The second is to learn how to hold it. And the third is to learn how to make a sound. So let's get started. When you're ready, with your trombone carefully lying on the floor, I'd like you to open up the case and take a look inside. So there are 3 parts to the trombone. Don't panic if you can only see 2 currently, the third one might be a bit hidden. So the biggest part is this bit, this is our bell. And this is where the sound comes out of. You can see it looks like the shape of a bell. Every brass instrument has a bell, and that's our one. Next, this thin long one is called the slide. And this is the part that we push and pull in and out to change the pitch of our notes. And it also is quite unique in the brass world because all other brass instruments have valves. So the trombone is very special. And then finally, as I said, it might be a bit hidden. Mine's in a little case, but yours might be under a little compartment, or might be sticking up and might be really obvious. But the third part is this tiny thing called the mouthpiece. And that's what we're going to start on today. So grab your mouthpiece and we're going to play some music. Okay, so the mouthpiece, as you may have guessed, goes onto our mouth. Importantly, not into it. And to make a sound on the mouthpiece or the trombone, we have to form what we call an embouchure. So embouchure is a fancy word, basically meaning the shape that we form with our mouth to create a sound. And in brass playing, we sometimes talk about it as buzzing our lips together. So we're going to give it a go. So I want you to bring the mouthpiece up to your face and place it onto your lips. So it feels kind of in the centre, in the middle. And then I want you to use these muscles we have at the corners of our mouths. You can use them for smiling. In this case, I don't want you to smile. I just want you to engage them, make sure that they feel quite firm. That's important. And then we're going to take in a big breath through our mouths and blow out while our lips are buzzing together like this. Okay, so there's quite a few things going on. Our breath in, using our muscles, and blowing that air out. Let's give it a go. Here we go. Fantastic. And again. Lovely. Hopefully you made a sound. If you didn't, I would suggest using a little bit more air, blowing a bit faster. But it normally takes a few goes. So let's have a couple more goes. Fantastic, well done. And if it doesn't sound exactly like mine, I wouldn't expect that. It's not going to sound the same. It might be higher or lower or quieter. That's fine. As long as you're making a sound, that's the important thing. So if you'd like to give that a little bit more of a go, you can always pause the video at this point, just to practice a little bit more. And then when you're ready, join us back and we're going to put the whole trombone together. Let's put the trombone together. So this is what we're aiming for. I have a lovely plastic trombone. I think some of you may be using these, so I'll talk a little bit about that as well as we go. But yeah, this is the shape we are aiming for. So I'm just going to pop my mouthpiece down for a minute. And the first thing I would like you to pick up is the slide. If you can remember which one that was. It's the thin, narrow one. Now, listen really carefully. You will see the slide has 2 holes at the top. And at the bottom we have a little key here. That's called our water key. We'll talk more about that later. It's really important when we pick up the slide that we have those holes pointing towards the ceiling. That's the way they will always go. And the reason that's important is because, as I said, the slide moves in and out. And if we pick it up the other way or without much care, the slide will come completely off. And we don't really want that to happen. The slide's the most delicate part of the instrument, so you have to have the most care with it. If we dent and damage our slide, then it can make it impossible to push in and out. So really do take care. And you might have noticed I moved this little bit here, which is called our slide lock. When I turn that on, and it's stopping the slide from falling, you can see. And when I twist it the other way, then I can move it in and out, which we obviously need to do, but whenever we're not playing it, we put the slide lock on. Okay, so let's put the slide with the holes pointing towards the ceiling in between our legs and pick up the mouthpiece. Now the mouthpiece is going to just simply sit in the smaller of the holes, and if you're a little bit unsure, because I'm sure it will fit in the other hole, the other side should have some little screw threads on which are going to attach to our bell. So I've got my mouthpiece in and the second hole pointing towards me, and then I'm going to pick up my bell. Good to pick it up from towards the bigger end of it, and I'm going to place it to the left of the slide. So we're kind of creating this shape, like a square. Okay, and then I'm going to screw this on nice and tightly. And there we go, we've got a trombone. If you are using the P bone, the only difference is you don't have a screw, it just pulls on into it and pushes back on. There you go. So that's how we get our trombone together. We will go over that a few times in the coming weeks, because I know it looks a little bit confusing, and I have a few do's and don'ts of how to hold our and how not to hold our trombone. Okay, Year 7, we're getting really close to playing the actual instrument. All that is left to do is learn how to hold it. So, with your left hand, I'd like you to form a shape that's a bit like you're going to shake someone's hand. And then you're going to place your thumb onto the first bar, this one here, and grab underneath to this part of the trombone with your other fingers. So you are holding both parts of the trombone, and your left arm is going to be taking most of the weight of the trombone. The shape that we make, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable at first, but you will soon get used to it. And it actually reminds me of the shape that you make if you play video games with the controllers. So I'm sure a few of you might be experienced with that, so you'll be all right. Okay, so with our left hand, thumb on the bar, fingers reaching round, we'll pick up our trombone and we're bringing it on above our left shoulder, like a parrot. And then with our right hand, this hand's going to take control of the slide. So the bar here is what I'm going to hold on to, and I'm going to try and pinch it with my fingers rather than form a fist. Okay, a bit like you're having a cup of tea with the Queen. And that's how we hold our trombone. And then if I unlock my slide very carefully, we can move our slide in and out. I'm going to lock it again. So there you go, that's how we hold it. Now let's bring it back down to the floor, place the slide on the floor. And just so you know, this will be our rest position. So anytime we are not playing, this is where we will be. And as soon as I say play position, We bring the trombone up to our face, above our shoulder, and there we go. Here are a few common problems that students have when they first start holding the trombone. So the first one I call the enthusiastic elbow. This is where you're working too hard with your arms in the air. I like to tell my students to pretend they've got an egg in each armpit, that if they lift up their armpits, it's going to drop out and you'll have egg all over the floor. Or equally, if you squish them in, you're going to get egg onto you. So watch out for that. No enthusiastic elbows. Next we have I call it the loose screw, where we've not tightened our screw enough so it keeps falling apart. That can be really awkward to hold, so just make sure you've got the screw nice and tight. This next one, what's happening here is that the slide is lying flat instead of straight in front of us, and it means that the bell just completely blocks your view of the music. So try and have it just turned on its side rather than right in front of your face. And then lastly, probably the most common, is that we just put it together the opposite way around, so it ends up on your right hand side and your left hand is holding the slide. So watch out for that. Always get it on your left shoulder and your right hand is holding the slide. But this is what we're aiming for. This is how you want to be holding our trombone. Okay, Year 7s, now it's time to learn how to make a sound on our trombone. First, I want to demonstrate a couple of things for you. So there are two ways that we can change notes on the trombone. One of them, I don't even have to move my slide for. I do it with just the speed of the air that I'm blowing. Have a listen. There you go, I didn't move my slide and I got quite a few different notes. The other way is to move our slide, so. Our next lesson we'll learn a lot more about the slide. This week we want to focus on making a sound, so we're going to keep our slide closed with the lock on. But just so you know, if you do get a note that sounds slightly different to mine, it's because that we have the option of playing different notes even without moving our slide. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is to think about everything we did when we were buzzing. So we were using the corners of our mouths, keeping it firm. We were buzzing our lips together and making it sound a bit like a raspberry, this noise. And we were blowing lots of air. So when we put the mouthpiece into the trombone, we've got a lot more tube to blow around. So the breath that we take in and blow out is going to have to be a lot bigger and quite active for it to make a really good sound. So I want you to imagine it's your 99th birthday and your family have made you a massive cake with 99 candles on it. And I want you to take a breath in and try and blow them out. So I'm going to count to 4. As soon as I start counting, I want you to start breathing in. And when I get to 4, I want you to blow out as if you had to blow out 99 candles. Let's give it a go. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you get all 99? Let's try one more time. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Okay, so that's the type of breath we need to use when we're blowing down the trombone. So let's try it. When I say, I want you to bring your trombone up to play position, and we'll do the same thing. I'll count to 4, we'll breathe in, and then I want you to blow out. Just see what comes out. It doesn't have to be the perfect sound. Let's see what happens. So play position. Remember your embouchure shape and your buzz. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Well done, Year 7. Now don't panic if a sound didn't come out. We are going to do this another 3 times, and this is an opportunity for you to just try again and again. But remember, try and change something. So if it's not working, maybe blow more. Maybe keep your corners of your mouth working a little bit more as well, or even just think about that buzzing sound. Here we go. So play position. Let's do it 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Bigger breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest position. So, there are a few common things that you could be doing wrong that I just want to go over. So if you didn't have a sound at all, if you were making a noise that was really airy like that, I want you to think about buzzing your lips a lot more. We need our lips to vibrate so we get a sound. If you're getting a sound and then it's dying away, so something like I want you to imagine that birthday cake has been put a little bit further away. So you're blowing further and further away. Have a go at that for me if that was a problem you were having. If you felt like you were getting a sound but maybe it was a bit tight, it was a bit like that, then I want you simply just to relax your face a little bit. And the last thing that is the most common thing that people do is this face. Okay, so air going into your cheeks. Call it the hamster. We must avoid that, and the easiest way to avoid that face is to use these muscles. Okay, so if you think you were doing any of those things, we're going to give it one more go all together and see if you can fix them, okay? Play position. I'll do the counting. We'll breathe in and then let's blow out. 1, 2, breathe. 3, 4. Lovely. Rest position. So hopefully now Year 7, you're all making a sound. If you want to pause the video and have a few more goes at that, by all means, please do. Next, I want us to talk about that sound because, as I demonstrated, there are a few different pitches or notes that we could get. What would be lovely if we could all try and get the same sound, so match my note. If you are already matching my note, well done, that's great. See if you can hang on to it. If you were getting a note that sounded a little bit lower, like this, then that's great. That's just another note that we will learn to play, so you're one step ahead. If you're getting that note now, though, can you think about keeping your lips buzzing a little bit closer together? And think of that birthday cake and those candles and aiming for them. And it might make the sound a little bit higher. If you were getting a sound that was higher than mine, so maybe something like, then also that's fantastic. We will use that note, but I'd like you just to try and relax a little bit. Imagine the cake's a little bit closer to you so you don't have to blow with so much force. Just be a little bit more gentle with your air. And then hopefully we will all start to get this note. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do today is a little bit of copy back. So I will play a rhythm on that note and I'd like you to copy it back. This will give you, it's just more of a chance to find that note and get used to this funny shape we're making with our mouths. So I will play a rhythm across 4 beats, 2, 3, 4, and then you have 4 beats to copy back. So play position. Me first and then you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Rest position. Well done, Year 7. That was a fantastic first lesson. Last thing we've got to do is put our trombone away safely. So let's make sure, again, our slide lock is on. And then I'd like you to take your mouthpiece out and pop it wherever it was that you found yours. And then we're going to carefully unscrew, or if it's the P-bone, just pull out the bell. Again, grab the bottom of the bell is normally a bit safer, and place that carefully back in your case. And then let's check that slide lock's on one last time. And then we'll put our slide carefully back in. Well done. I look forward to seeing you again for our next lesson.